Coaching news in the NFL broke Tuesday evening as the Ravens fired head coach John Harbaugh. In his 18 seasons in Baltimore, Harbaugh won 193 games, by far the most in franchise history. However, the Ravens finished 8-9 this season, just the third losing season under Harbaugh. He was the second longest tenured coach in the league. Now, the Ravens reached the playoffs in 12 of 18 seasons under Harbaugh, including winning Super Bowl 47, where Baltimore defeated the Niners 34-31 to earn the franchise's second Super Bowl title ever. However, since then, the Ravens are 4-7 in the postseason. They have made it to the AFC Championship game just one time. The Ravens entered the season as co-favorites to win the Super Bowl and became the first preseason Super Bowl favorite to miss the postseason since the 2008 Patriots. Adam Schefter broke the story and posted this yesterday. In the first 45 minutes after John Harbaugh was fired, his agent, Brian Harlan, said he received calls from 7 NFL teams expressing interest in his client. There currently are 7 NFL coach openings, including Baltimore, so that means one team clearly does not yet have a vacancy. Peter Schrager joins us now here on First Take. And so, Schrags, where's the best fit for John Harbaugh?
He's going to have all the choices he wants. His family's from Cleveland. That one raises eyebrows. His old running mate, Monty Ossenfort, is the GM in Arizona. There is an opening in Atlanta, of course, with a lot of things to like on that roster, with a GM spot that's vacant that maybe he could help play a role in filling that one. The team I'm circling, though, is the one in our backyard. I think the New York Giants make a ton of sense for John Harbaugh. They have a franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart, which is what they believe they have. They believe they have a franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart, a franchise left tackle in Andrew Thomas, a pass rush that is set to go right now, cap space, Malik Neighbors, Scatterboo. We can go through the roster. They also have a top 5 pick, and they have a thing that none of these teams have that are currently there, a wall with 4 Lombardi trophies on it and a fan base that can rival the Ravens fan base, expectations, standards, and a certain stature of franchise amongst the NFL 32. John Harbaugh is going to interview for several of these jobs. None of them are in stone yet. I can tell you that the Giants are interested in interviewing him. I can tell you Atlanta is interested. I can tell you Cleveland is going to be aggressive in this one. Can you imagine John Harbaugh going in Cleveland and playing the Ravens twice a year? I believe, to me, the Giants and Harbaugh make a lot of sense.
You almost fell out of your chair and made me nervous.
The Jackson Dart quarterback.
I think the Giants make sense, too, because they have an embattled GM who is in a little trouble there in Shane, who they brought back partly maybe because of the health of Mr. Mara, because, it's hard to look for
stabilizing factor there.
So you don't want to go too crazy with all this dishevelment. So I think Harbaugh is he's going to go to the Giants. It's by far the best job. You hit it all on the head. They have a quarterback. We think he's good. The franchise was strong.
Fair.
But they got pieces on defense. Carter played well late in the year. Burns had a tremendous season.
Yep.
They got a good pick. They got other picks. The running back, Scatterboo, is good. Neighbors is coming back. Thomas is excellent. Their offensive line's a little better. I think Harbaugh's going there. I really do. Listen, Arizona doesn't have a quarterback. Cleveland doesn't have a quarterback. With all due respect to Sanders, they need a quarterback. The Falcons, they got a weird situation at quarterback.
Yep.
So I think if they ask, and I think Stefanski, I'll tell you a perfect place for Stefanski is Tennessee. He'd be great with Cam Ward. And Stefanski's a good coach. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Haslam, I don't like Haslam as an owner. Stefanski's a good coach.
I'm not questioning him as a coach, but I'm talking about the quarterback position. The man had about 13 quarterbacks in 6 years.
That's not his fault.
Whoa. At some point in time. What about
who? Who was he supposed to develop, Steve?
You had Baker Mayfield.
All right, well, they got rid of him.
That's what I'm saying. You had Baker Mayfield. You had Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson in Houston, we never thought we could see him look that bad. It was under Stefanski now. Listen, I'm not
sure. They don't put that on Stefanski. No.
Guys.
I know, but you don't associate his name.
Lord, I'm not
Deshaun was not Deshaun.
Listen, Deshaun was not Deshaun. Deshaun was rattled. He was self-inflicted, his off-field. I got that part.
Okay.
But I'm not talking about blaming him for that. I'm talking about how precipitous the drop-off was. My God, could you do something?
The one you said.
I mean, could you feed him some protein? What the hell?
2 years ago, he was the coach of the year with Flacco.
He was coach of the year twice.
He was coach of the year 2 years ago when they had Flacco.
I didn't talk about his coaching. I just don't come to me like he's some quarterback whisperer now. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you, Mad Dog, but I think the biggest indictment is the Baker Mayfield one. Because Baker left and went to coaches, reinvigorated himself, and now we regard Baker Mayfield as one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? So, again, now, as a rookie, developing, same situation you would be in with Jackson Dart, right? Can you develop this young quarterback who everybody seems to think is the franchise guy? I'm late to the party on quarterbacks for a reason.
I got to see more.
Okay,
too.
yeah. I think he's talented. The kid can play. All of that is on display. But before we determine that this is the quarterback you want to be paired with to take you into the future,
I agree.
I will go Arizona with Harbaugh, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because no franchise that he goes to, he's going to be under pressure to win. They need a stabilizer in AZ. They need a guy that can compete with what that division is. And whatever decision you make with Kyler Murray, when John Harbaugh gets to AZ, he's going to be the face of the Arizona Cardinals. And then you start from there. They got some pieces on defense that I like a lot. That's a team that I think is I like the Austin Ford connection, but it's a low enough under the radar situation right now where he can raise the level
There'd be no pressure there.
under people's nose, and then we talking about the Cardinals being a playoff team and having success.
But he's coming from
That's
the
a
Ravens.
vision?
Well, he's coming from the Ravens, which is like the class of the league. The Cardinals.
I understand. But Schrager, he just left. He just got kicked out of the class of the division. Why? Why did he get? Why? Because it eventually transitioned over into the quarterback, and the decision makers are choosing between Lamar and Harbaugh lost the cachet of being the face of the Ravens because Lamar is ascension.
No doubt.
Right? And when you get to this point and you got to make that decision, they say, Harbaugh, we appreciate your service. We got to go with the guy that we got on the books for $250 million plus dollars. In Arizona, listen to me. In Arizona, if Harbaugh goes to Arizona and brings Arizona up to a level in which they are respectable and competing at a very high level, he king.
I get it.
It's his franchise.
It's not a terrible
organization.
Pick. I don't disagree.
And it's the best situation.
No.
But
they don't have a quarterback.
If he could bring it to, I'm telling you, man, it would be that would get me excited.
It's such a hard division, though.
So.
It's so hard to win there.
That's fine.
It's a challenge.
Y'all talking about how great of a coach he is?
I need you to stop pulling a Lewis Riddick and filibustering and let me get
Get in there. You talked about.
Let me say this.
Stefanski.
No, man.
My time.
Let me tell you
I had this space.
Fellas, if a player hasn't been productive enough, I said enough, for years, what do? Why do we constantly act like coaches get to have lifetime tenure? They don't. 13 years this man hasn't won a Super Bowl. He had Lamar Jackson for the last 7 or 8 years and couldn't get to a Super Bowl. Not lose it, couldn't get to it. We blast Sirianni. The man is a Super Bowl champion. We blast Jalen Hurts. He been to how many Super Bowls? Been to 2 Super Bowls. Would have been the MVP with the one they lost to Kansas City before they stomped them last year. What are we doing? John Harbaugh, mad respect to this man. I'm quite sure he'll get another job. I agree with you. I think the Giants are the way to go. But we didn't really ask ourselves the question. Does he really deserve
It's a different
for
conversation.
a bunch of people calling up, acting like he's some savior? Because they ain't see it in Baltimore. You yourself on the record just a few minutes ago, didn't he say, yo, it's been going on for a few years.
Yeah.
They got questions about it. And what did they say? Even though X's and O's, the man knows what he's doing. He's a special teams dude that got the head coach job in 2008 and soared and exceeded, and we got mad respect for that. But then since that time, one disappointment after another. We bring up double-digit losses more than anybody in the league. We bring up the absence of a Super Bowl appearance more than anybody else. We're going and raving about other coaches that have won. But the minute they struggle, even though they won more recently than he has, we ready to hold them accountable.
Nobody get in my ear about 90.
Come on now. So,
don't tell me 90 in my ear. Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, when that kind of stuff is happening, I'm simply making the point. Why are we talking like it's automatic? How can you not grab him? Wait a minute. What's the criteria? Now, if you're telling me, be respectable, compete, be in the mix, I got nothing to say. But if you're talking about ascending, championship contention, and stuff like that, I'm looking at you and I'm saying, not only did you have Lamar Jackson, you had Derrick Henry. You let your offensive coordinator go games without giving him the damn football. Bray Lewis and them, if they were dead, I'd say they're turning over in their grave with what this defense has looked like on periodically over the last couple of years. There have been moments where that defense was like, you can't get a stop. Yo, the mystique of the Ravens, who they are, what they stand on. This is what it is. And Harbaugh was that dude. And suddenly it dissipated flagrantly before our eyes. Why are we talking like it's, I love the man. I appreciate what he's done. He's a good man. He's a damn good coach. I think he will get another job, and eventually he should. My issue is, there's 7 openings and 8 teams called. And you know, it's got to be him. Hey. Why? Why?
Well, because he's got 193 wins, 13 playoff
So
wins.
did Bill Belichick. How things looking at North Carolina?
Well, that's a college situation.
How about the fact that he didn't get a job offer? I agree with that, but my point is this. He didn't get one job. He's a 6-time champion. Oh. You got one, which happened 13 years ago, and we talking about you like you're Bill Belichick. You're not.
Go ahead.
You're not. And by the way, you had Tom Brady, but you had Lamar Jackson. You ain't have Zach Wilson or somebody. You had Lamar Jackson.
Are you filibustering?
Go ahead.
Make no doubt about it. There were fans in Baltimore who were popping champagne yesterday.
Yeah.
Finally. Let's move on. It got stale. This guy couldn't win. Can we try something new? That said, I have worked in this league where I have seen the Dolphins fire Adam Gase and the Jets hire him that cycle. Adam Gase got another bite at the apple without a year.
Well, that's fair.
There are countless versions of this with guys with far less resumes than what Harbaugh has. So many of these teams.
How's that worked out?
No doubt. So many of these teams are in what you would almost call the jungle, in that, hey, we just want to be relevant. We just want something, stability. Give us. If you're asked, who are the top 2 coaching candidates right now, you would be amazed. Every team would tell you it's Harbaugh and Stefanski. And Stefanski was fired by the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because we know they don't have a roster.
Those are the guys, though,
that
bring stability and bring you a chance. A lot of these owners would rather bank on that than the hot, young, new thing.
Quick question, Peter.
And there you go.
The examples that you use in terms of an Adam Gase, people that flopped or failed, certainly that's not John Harbaugh, but people that flopped and failed and then they got another chance. Has any of them worked out? Can you think of one?
Flopped and failed.
No, but if you.
I'm talking about they had.
But I would say
lost,
Andy Reid
and then
was
you just
fired.
grabbed
I was
them.
going to say, Andy Reid would be the one.
Fired by
Andy Reid
Philly,
would be
and they ran to.
Well, Belichick at Cleveland went to New England, and he won all those championships.
We're
wasn't
not
as
going to
regarded.
this. We're not
He
going
wasn't
to
as
the early
regarded.
80s. All right, just relax. All right, here's the thing.
I think Lombardi.
I know. Stop it. Stop it.
Here's the thing with
Lombardi and the Redskins didn't work out.
Here's the thing.
Go.
It's really it's like free agency for a player. Like when you get in free agency, you look at the landscape and you say, "Oh, I'm the number 1 guy," because all the number 1 guys are already under long-term contracts. Look, I in a sense can agree with you on John Harbaugh, right? Like in context of what has happened in Baltimore, why would people be clamoring for John Harbaugh to be their next head coach? When they look at a 2-time MVP, they look at you've had defenses that have been ranked in the top 5. You've had opportunity after opportunity.
All-time losses in
to
the
go.
playoffs.
All-time losses, right? Players too. Again,
Lamar. We discussed it.
Lamar, Andrews drop, Zay fumble, missed field goal. We're having a conversation about a lot of things over the tenure of John Harbaugh being there. But here's what I will say. It's the market. Last year when you bring up Belichick, when Belichick was available, Vrabel was available. Mike McDonald was one of the hottest names in football as a defense coordinator, leaving Baltimore and going coaching Seattle.
Johnson.
We see how that worked out. Ben Johnson was available. Liam Cohen was going to be available. This year, tell me, outside of who people believe in Harbaugh and Stefanski, is somebody that you going to knock the walls down to hire as your head coach. That is the reason why John Harbaugh is started this way. Because I agree with you. When Bill Belichick hit the market, I was like, Bill Belichick, his agent is going to be able to pick up the phone, call a team, and say, we want this much money,
one interview,
this many years, and they going to hire him. He got one interview. This is a year for John Harbaugh. If your team is going to let you go, it's a prime year for you to be on the market as a coach with that type of background and pedigree.
The other side to this is, let's dissect why Bill Belichick only got one interview. He's a 6-time Super Bowl champion. That is true. Yes, once Tom Brady departed, he got to a playoff game with Mac Jones and lost the lone playoff appearance in the last 4 years. We got that part too. That's not the situation with John Harbaugh. But also the biggest thing is that when you looked at Bill Belichick and you think about these young guns in the National Football League that are in decision-making positions, you sort of knew they weren't going to hire him because it's like, this man's forgotten more football than we know. He ain't going to listen to us. We ain't trying to jeopardize our job by handing the reins to him. Well, how come, to a lesser degree anyway, is that not applicable to John Harbaugh?
Because you don't have those guys.
No, what I'm saying, you got.
He's saying decision makers. Why wouldn't they be threatened by Harbaugh?
In other words, they'll be threatened by John Harbaugh. In other words, you're in your 60s. You've been a coach for 18 years. You've forgotten more than they know. They want to flex and show their value. We see that in our business.
But to your point,
see that in every business.
Another thing was,
they might be hesitant.
Another thing was, because it just jarred my memory, another thing was Belichick was the GM too. And that might have turned
And Belichick brings my buddy this guy and my buddy this guy.
A lot more issues.
I think Harbaugh comes in hat in hand.
I will say this.
Okay.
If Harbaugh was to get fired from the Ravens last year with Liam Cohen, Mike McDonald, Ben Johnson, all of those guys that we see in these places having success, I don't think he would have got 7 to 8 phone calls.
I agree.
I think these teams last year had these assistants pegged.
Yeah, but you can also look. I know we got to go. Look at Ben Johnson. Look at Liam Cohen. Look at these new coaches that have come onto the scene. So not only is the Baltimore Ravens looking in a different direction, you might have other teams looking away from the Stefanskis and the Harbaughs of the world because of what they've seen Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen do.